May 8th, 2010, tragedy struck a tightly knitted community.
When I looked over and I saw the life just kind of slipping out of him, I knew something serious was happening.
It was a brain aneurysm. Doctors operated, but after 6 months, Ranse Jones slipped away from this life.
I think about him every day.
Ranse will never play the game he loved so much again. However, he has an entire army of friends to play in his place.
The Ranse memory will never die.
And today they came together for the Ranse Jones Memorial Tournament in Deerfield Beach.
Ranse was such a great guy. He was somebody that was always a positive influence on everyone else. When he passed away, it was, it just made sense that we did something to remember him.
Rance's family also came out to show their support.
Beach volleyball was his passion. He did everything else in his life to support his passion. And that's why everybody's here, because they just felt it with him. And, we all think about him every day, and it's just an amazing tournament, but I'm in awe. It's an awesome tournament.
He was a leader in football, and he became a leader, as you can tell, of all his friends. And we're so happy that they are honoring him this way and that we might be a part of it.
Affectionately called Aunt Georgia and Uncle Jeff, they consider Ranse one of their own.
Well, Ranse was an original. I mean, he was very unique from the day one. I mean, he was born just being a very happy child.
It was like having another son, and I respected him, and I know he respected me.
And from funny memories to sincere moments, everyone had something to say about their king of the beach.
Volleyball is a dedication situation. Ranse was dedicated to the sport, where he not only got a job, which was become a firefighter, so he could play volleyball, but he worked his life to a situation where he can become the best in the sport that really doesn't pay a lot of money. It's a love. That's what he had. He had a love. So we're showing our love back for a person that had love for a sport just like we do.
I actually met Ranse in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. It was coming up on dusk. He came around the side of the building. I was probably the worst volleyball player there. And Ranse picked me up, and we ended up playing until well into the night, and we won a couple games, and ran into him down here maybe about 2.5 years after that. And it was almost like we were best friends right away. He's the kind of guy that would do anything for you, always be there if you needed help.
My fondest moment actually, came in Rance's last volleyball match, and he was actually playing against myself and Adrian Carumbla. At the beginning of that match, Adrian and I weren't present when they were calling us to come to the court, and basically what happened, they ended up letting us come without, subtracting any points, which they usually do. Came up and Ranse looked me in the eye and was like, "Hey Jeff, you don't want a DNF," which means did not finish. And to me, Ranse, he didn't finish. He didn't finish that match, but I hope one day that when I get to see him again, that I'll be able to finish the match, and hopefully we'll see who wins, because I don't want to go out that way.
I remember everything. He was a really good guy. Everybody always thought he was a great guy. I remember the first time I saw him, he was playing an AVP in Fort Lauderdale with Gaston. Just a great guy. Everybody loved him.
He was known for being a gypsy and going from tournament to tournament and sleeping in his car if he had to, and he'd help set up, and he'd help tear down, and he'd play in between.
Played hard when he was out there playing volleyball, and he had everything I would love to live to be.
He was always up. He was calm. He was thoughtful, genuine, and we need more of that all around in this world today.
Bought a houseboat in North Carolina, brought it down here, lived on it for about 1 month, and the hurricane came and took it away.
I remember Ranse, he was getting really mad at one tournament up in Maryland, and me and my partner were beating him 14-11, or 20-16 actually in the second game. And he's just so mad, he goes back there and hits 6 aces in a row to end that game.
The guy, played so hard, and he'd get himself out of the sand and he'd just have this big grin on his face, like that's what he loved to do. And I try and do that myself these days, because I feel like that's the way to play.
He was just a real good mentor when I was coming up. He'd been around for a little while. He kind of showed me the ropes, and he was just a real hard worker.
One of my favorite memories of Ranse was, it was in 2009. We were playing the U.S. Open of beach volleyball in, I think, Hermosa Beach. And I had promised Kendra that I'd play code with her on Sunday. But on Saturday,
we probably played about 8 matches. Ranse was also in the tournament. He played about 8 matches. I had to continue to play on Sunday, and Ranse, after playing 8 matches on Saturday and 1 match in the morning on Sunday, got eliminated. And I'm like, who can I get to play with my wife? Everyone's tired. I asked about 10 people, and Ranse walks up. Ranse loves to play volleyball, so he's always a competitor. He was like cramping the day before and everything, and I was like, hey Ranse, will you play with Kendra? And he goes, absolutely. And he went out there and played the entire day.
First time I ever saw Ranse, I was working for the Bud Light Volleyball Tour, and I was reffing. Came up to me after the game, was the nicest guy in the world. I go, I want to play like that guy. I want to be like that guy.
The last time I lived with Ranse, I woke up one morning and our landlord was staying in the room watching Ranse pack up all his stuff. I think he forgot his last payment.
The funny story I have about Ranse, he was working at a restaurant with me up in Del Rey, and his crown, his tooth fell out.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
He found a seashell when we were playing volleyball that looked exactly like a tooth, and he got that denture cream stuff and he glued his front tooth on while he's serving food, and it looked perfect. And he was taking the order for a table, and as he's taking the order, his tooth spits out, and he caught it right in front of the lady. The whole table laughed. They kind of got disgusted. They got up and left. He said, I'm so sorry, but he wore that tooth for about 2 weeks before he could get his tooth fixed, and that was pretty much the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Ranse was a great guy. He had a great attitude, winning or losing. He just looked at life and just said, I'm just going to live it to the fullest. And I think he definitely accomplished that. Just a great guy, great friend. If you needed something, he was always there for you. And it was just a good guy to be around.
I don't know if it was anything he ever said. It was just kind of the way he led his life and the kind of example he was. The way he played on the court, The slogan is, it couldn't be any more true. Live simple, play hard. That really was Ranse.
Monies raised from the Ranse Jones Memorial Tournament benefited kids in distress, a South Florida-based organization dedicated to preventing child abuse, preserving the family, and treating abused and neglected children. Until next year, I'm Rachel Lee with Fox 29, reminding you to live simple, play hard.